Hello YouTube, this is Michael B. the Game Genie, and this is my November, or Movember update of my NES Complete Collection Chronicles. Okay, before I go any further, I'm going to explain this a little bit better. I had a few comments on last month's video, people saying 349 NES games. It's not a complete collection. Yeah guys, I'm aware it's not a complete collection. The idea of this video is, I'm going for a complete collection. So what I'm going to do is, every month, I'll show you my progress that I'm making with that collection. So if I pick up 21 games, I'll show you what they are and where I stand with my collection as of November, which is this month. Anyways guys, October was an amazing month for collecting NES games. I spent the majority of October actually outside of my province, Newfoundland, and I actually spent a little over a week in Toronto, and then I spent the rest of my time in Fredericton, New Brunswick with my wife. I'm very fortunate with work and my travel, and also with the vacation I built up with work. I've got to spend a lot of time with my wife even though we're actually not close together. Anyways, enough about that. Let me show you what I got. First up is actually a game, surprisingly, I've been looking for a long time, and I've had a really hard time finding at a decent price, and that is Barbie on the NES. Next up is a game that's actually very apropos, in a word of the day calendar, because of what happened with Disney and George Lucas just recently, and that is The Empire Strikes Back. I also already have Star Wars for the NES, so I've completed the JVC Star Wars collection for the NES. This game I know absolutely nothing about, and usually I wouldn't really pick them up. I am going for a complete NES collection, but right now I'm focused on games I actually really want to play, or I've heard good things about and I want to try out. This is something I know nothing about, but I saw it at a pawn shop. It was $2. I'm not going to turn down a NES game for $2, and that is Battle of Olympus. It's a Taito game, Rainbow Islands. One of my favorite ever comics growing up was The Punisher. I haven't heard really good things about this game, but I'm excited to try it out nonetheless. Game by SNK, Alpha Mission, MTV's Remote Control. This is kind of what it feels like when I'm hanging around my wife's dorm room while she's in school. Ghoul School. This is a Capcom movie license game that I'm actually pretty excited to try for the first time. Willow. Game I've heard wonderful things about. Excited to finally add it to my collection and try out. Dig Dug 2. And here we go. I know a lot of people are automatically going to villainize this game, and that's fine. Bugs Bunny and Crazy Castle. And what do you follow up Bugs Bunny and Crazy Castle with? Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout. Very coincidental, since it was just my birthday a couple days ago. Game by Romstar, Twin Eagle. And I am very, very, very excited to pick this game up. Gradius. So now it's going to start to get a little bit more exciting, actually, if you can believe that. I have a lot of the series on the NES, and I'm very focused on collecting them. But one I've always kind of stayed away from because of its extremely pricey nature has been Dragon Warrior series. Luckily, I did add something past the first Dragon Warrior this time around. Don't get too excited, it's not one of the crazy ones. But I'm excited to finally say I now own Dragon Warrior 2. Now, I'm not the kind of person that's actually trying to collect all my NES games in box. I'm fine with just having the cartridges. I'm happy with that. But if I come across some cool games that are in the box, and really there's no difference in price, I'm going to pick them up in the box. It's just the way I am. I love the old boxes. They're very cool. It's not essential for me to have them, but I'm going to pick them up. So I picked up two great NES games that I needed for my collection that I didn't have, and they came in the box. I'm pretty excited about it. First of which is another Sunsoft game. I'm pretty close to having all the Sunsoft NES games now, I think. But this is one I'm really excited about. Actually, 8-Bit Eric just did a pretty awesome review in his Halloween special of this game. That is Gremlins 2, The New Batch. By Sunsoft. The music's fantastic. It's got an overhead view, looks like it plays very similar to Star Tropics. I'm really excited to try this out for the first time. The next game I'm going to show you is actually the third game in the series, and I've finally completed it. From what I hear, it's actually the best game in the series, and it's made by SNK. What it's been described to me as a very similar game to Prisoner of War, which is one of my favorite games of all time, and that is Ikari Warriors 3, The Rescue, or this is just called Ikari 3. Anyways, very excited to have this game. Not a common game from what I understand, and very cool to have it in the box. So a little earlier, I told you about the pawn shop I go to up in New Brunswick that sells their NES games for $2. Well, it's not really $2. What they actually do is they have a deal that all their NES games that they have out are actually 4 for $10, so it's $2.50 per game as long as you buy 4. Anyways, I walk in there and I'm picking up a couple games out of the 4 for $10 bin. There's no NES games there this time that I looked and I really wanted, so I'm picking out a couple PlayStation games, and I go up to the counter to pay, and I notice just on the counter they have a whole stack of NES games, and I'm like, actually, stop the purchase, I'm going to go look through the NES games. So they had a couple extras that I picked up because they might have actually been in better condition than some of the ones I had in my collection. I think I picked up an extra copy of Snake's Revenge, like my 14th copy of Captain Skyhawk. I don't know why anybody doesn't want to keep that game. But then I come across something that I wasn't really looking for. I'm going to be honest with you. My goal is to get a complete licensed NES collection. So I haven't really been collecting unlicensed games. Now, I've been picking up Tengen games if I come across them and they're a really good deal and it's something I want to try. So I've got a couple Tengen games in my collection, so it looks like I'm going to add the Tengen games. Then I pick these up, and I have to ask myself, so am I going to add this to my collection as well? They are Wisdom Tree games, and you heard me right, I paid $2.50 for each of these games. First of which is Exodus, Journey to the Promised Land. The second is Spiritual Warfare. And the third, and the one I'm the most excited about, because I think this is actually the most valuable of the whole set. I'm not 100% sure of what it's worth, but I got King of Kings, The Early Years. Yep, riding the camel. Anyways, so I'm excited to pick these up. I picked these up for a very good deal, but I'm not 100% sure if it's something I'm gonna actually collect for, or these will probably just be 3 extra games that sit around in my collection, I guess, but it's not something that I'm focused on, or something I need to feel like I'm going to complete my collection, but who knows, maybe I pick a couple more up. Alright guys, that almost does it, but I do have one more game I want to show you. But before I show you that, I want to show you something really cool, NES related, that I picked up as well. I'm in the pawn shop where I picked up the Wisdom Tree games for $2.50 a piece, and they have a glass display cabinet where I've never really found anything I really wanted in this glass display cabinet. However, I go back there and I see something that looks like a boxed Nintendo game. And anyways, I asked to see it, and the guy pulls it out and shows me this. That's a boxed NES cleaning kit. And I'm like, okay, well, how much do you want for it? The guy says $6. And I said, game on. I took it. Of course I did. Anyways, I get it home, and I expected it was just going to be the cleaning kit put in the box. This thing is actually complete. It has all the posters, all the manuals. Very cool. I'm very excited that I have the official NES cleaning kit. I'm probably never going to use this one. I've actually got a pink cleaner over there that's worked perfectly for me, so I think I'll leave this where it's to. Alright guys, so last but not least, piece de resistance that I've added to my collection this time. I can't tell you how excited I actually am about this. Last time I was in Fredericton, I was going through one of the resellers' tables, and he had a game there that he wanted $30 for. And he's usually actually the cheap reseller in New Brunswick. He usually doesn't price his games at value, so I said, wow, why is he want $30 for it? There's not a lot of games that are, in my opinion, worth $30 that I'm going to pick up. So anyways, I didn't buy it. But I went home, and I researched it, and I found it out. It's actually probably one of the 15 or 20 rarest NES games out there. I couldn't believe it. But I figured, well, anyways, I missed out on it. There's no way I'm going to be able to go back and get it. Sure enough, I get through my trip to Toronto, get back to New Brunswick, and it's my first day at the flea market in New Brunswick. Go up to the seller's table, and it's still there. So I pick it up like I'm going to buy it. Then I see another game that he has on his table, not a Nintendo game, and and anyways, he's not sure on the price. So we're arguing about the price for the other game. He wants $70. I'm not willing to go anything above $35. So then he breaks down. He says, "How about 40?" And I say, "No, man, I'll do $35." So he sees the NES game that I picked up in my hand, and he says, "I'll tell you what. If you buy that game there in your hand, I'll give you this game for $35." I didn't hesitate. I just said, "Oh yeah, absolutely." I was just so excited that he didn't realize how much the game in my hand was actually worth. And that game, which I was very surprised to find out, rare game, is Gun Knack. I played this. This is an incredibly fun shooter. I don't know if it's worth the price tag that I'm hearing. I'm hearing anywhere from $80 to $100 for this game. I don't know if it's really worth that, but man, it's a lot of fun. And I'm super excited to have it. I'm going to be honest with you guys, outside of Mighty Final Fight, I didn't think I would probably get, well, I've got a complete copy of Mighty Final Fight. I didn't think I'd get a rare game in my collection, but Gun Knack, which now becomes the pinnacle, I guess, of my NES collection for the time being. So anyways, guys, if you've been following along, that's 21 games. Last time I was at 349, which now brings me up to 370 games. Getting pretty close to 400. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go play some Gun Knack. This is Michael B. the Game Genie, and I'll talk to you next time. Yeah, I just wanted to show you again. I'm really excited.